Monday morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Dale Hellestrae's here, everybody.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You look like it sounds like a lot of false enthusiasm coming out of you this morning.
I'm doing excellent.
I mean, I see you sitting here in the dark room when I get here this morning, and
that's because I was late and I didn't turn anything on. I had to download videos and get the show ready.
Yeah.
And I'll type down. I slacked yesterday. I had stuff all going. I just have to organize it.
Well, what I want to know is, did you spend the time to download all 17 penalties from the game yesterday?
Yeah, we're going to break them down.
All 17.
One by one, we're going to break them down. Were they penalties? Were they not penalties? We're going to have those answers for you today.
If you take away 5, they still had 12, you know. Crazy.
I was listening to the post game yesterday, and I think it's Rob Fredrickson.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, because people were calling in going, oh, it's unfair. The refs are biased against us. And he goes, all right, take 25% of those penalties away.
Yeah.
And it's still 12.
It's still 12 of them. Well, you go from that, then the Suns, and I'm like, I turn it on, and bounce it back. Oh, we got a 22-point lead.
Yeah, look at me, I'm crying.
Hey, we got
in the fourth quarter.
We got a 22-point lead, and things are rocking and rolling.
Against the Lonely Hawks.
And then, without Trey, what's his face?
Yep, Trey Young.
Yeah,
but not their best shooter.
A 22-point lead. I go back to the football game for a minute. I come back. I'm like, it's a 3-point game. Oh, Steve. So what started off the weekend Friday night? You got to see a good football game?
I went and played. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play a couple of rounds because I have to grind right now on Call of Duty 7. Black Ops 7. I have to grind on that to unlock my weapons and my optics and stuff like that. So, like, right in the Suns game, they're up by a ton. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go play some Call of Duty. I'm just going to go play a couple games. I'm going to come back in here and watch the end of the game and go to sleep. I had the same thing. I came back and they had lost. And I was like, what just happened?
So what started off the weekend on Friday, you got to see a really good high school football game?
It was look, I've seen a lot of high school football games this year, and it was by far the best game I've seen all year.
Okay, so that started off Friday. You can talk about that.
I know you had the Hamilton, Chandler game, which was really good and stuff like that, but I'm talking about me personally being there.
And I think a lot of people would say that. But so your weekend got off to a rip-roaring start.
Rouser start.
You get up bright and early. You probably have steak and eggs Benedict in the morning.
McDonald's.
Then you go to the ASU game. You dodge 98% of the rain. You get a victory.
Yeah.
Albeit little touch and go.
The one point in that game, I was like, we're losing this.
A little touch and go.
Late at the end there, I was like, there's no way we're coming back here. Boom. Done.
Come back. So that's your Saturday. Yep. You make it home. You're not drenched.
Watched UFC Saturday night, UFC 322 from Madison Square Garden. Well, I didn't buy it, thank God, because I fell asleep at like 8:30, and it was like one match in.
Yeah.
I watched all the prelims leading up to it. Watched Texas, Georgia. Texas is fake, folks. Texas is fake. We've learned that over the weekend. Yeah, so it was a good Saturday night. And then Sunday happened.
You get up Sunday morning.
I got up early enough that I watched that just unbelievable. I love when we just represent the best of America to these international cities. There's nothing more amazing than saying, hey, Europe, this is why we're better than you. We're sending you the Commanders and the Dolphins.
They got themselves a heck of a ball game.
It was garbage, man.
It went to overtime.
Perfect. Great. Field goals galore. Garbage pass interference calls that weren't pass interference calls from refs. So you want to talk about, if you want to complain about the refs in the Cardinals game, which I don't understand, by the way. But those refs in that Dolphins game Commanders game was garbage.
So you got up to do that.
Yep.
You had another steak and eggs breakfast.
I watched the Bills game and just watched the Bills dominate the Buccaneers.
And then you added to the melee that was.
I didn't eat breakfast.
Cardinals.
Oh no, I had Rice Krispies with bananas yesterday. What I did, Dale. And then a bowl of honeycombs, which are my favorite. They're so good. They're so bland, but they're so good. I've never eaten something so bland that's so good. Also, Saturday night, I avoided the nacho cheese from ASU Stadium there, Mountain America Stadium. So I avoided that.
That was Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, you're right. Lunchtime. You're right. It was like 11.
It was 11 o'clock kickoff, right?
Yeah. You're right. So I avoided that. So I felt good.
Looked like it was a late arriving crowd there at Mountain America.
It was
Stadium.
Homecoming, and a lot of people were out at the parade. They did the parade late this year before the game, but then again, it wasn't an 11 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, you can't have the parade at 6 a.m.
I think the parade was like at 10:30 or something.
Oh,
yeah, people were lined up down University.
Okay.
Yeah, it was packed. So I that's what I think it was, because everybody as soon as the game kicked off, everybody was like filling in.
Okay.
They filled in nice, but I think that's why it was late arriving.
At the beginning, it just didn't have a good look.
Oh, no. I mean, they were doing intros, and I have a picture of the flag on the field, and I'm like, the only thing that sucks about this is half the stadium's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you even texted me, late arriving crowd.
Yeah, I was like, there are a lot of empty spots.
That's the only thing I could think of, because, I mean, even when we got there about an hour, 10, 15 or so, 45 minutes.
Okay.
And even going into the stadium, we were like, why is nobody here? Normally this is packed by
right.
now. And that's it was a late parade. So I just remember the parade being at like, if there was like a 6 p.m. game, whatever. I remember the parade being like middle of the day.
Yeah.
So
you got to give yourself like 2 hours in between the game and the parade, don't you?
I mean, you get done with University right there, and y'all got to run up and then fight the crowds. We did go into the ASU Hall of Fame though, first time been in there. Saw Jeff Sims jersey. It's right as you walk in on the west side of it. You walk in, and Jeff Sims jersey there from the last game.
Okay.
Was there. Ooh, that thing was dirty. Beat up.
Actual game day uniform, huh?
It was the one last game, obviously not this game. The last game when he had all those yardage and everything, and I'm drawing a blank on who they played. Right now they have it there. Walked around, and it's always fun when your 17-year-old goes, "Who's Todd Heap? Who's Terrell Suggs?"
The glory days of your Sun Devils.
Oh,
young
Pat
man.
Tillman. We talk about him in school. Yeah, it's always good to hear that.
Well, I know Friday when you left here, obviously the weather people have been preparing us for.
Did you all survive the rain that came down, Dale?
The soaking that was coming our way. And it certainly looked that way. I was out at Graham's game when I texted you because I was watching a little ASU game before I left.
Yeah.
And, the skies look dark.
I got sunburned. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on TV. Look at that. Look at that right there. That's how sunburned I got.
No poncho for you?
I didn't need one. It sprinkled. So fourth quarter, when they went down and scored late in that game, like the dark clouds were coming and the wind was picking up.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're not going to be able to throw because it was getting really windy. But down on the field, the field goal flags weren't moving. So the wind hadn't hit down there yet.
Right.
I guess. And they went down and scored. And I was like, oh, man, just perfect right now. Dark clouds move in. Wind moves in. We're about to get drenched on. And they go down and win this game. Perfect metaphor. It sprinkled. It sprinkled as ASU went down. And when Jesus kicked the field goal, I was like, he missed the earlier one. He's going to miss this one with the wind. Ooh, nailed it. Just like we expect him to do. And then it sprinkled a little bit. That was cold like sprinkles as well. And then nothing.
So you got to the car and
then it started raining. Then it started sprinkling and raining a little bit on the way home. And that was it. And then I know it rained overnight because I had my windows open, so I could hear it raining a little bit of, but nothing major. Okay, first of all, weather people, I get it. You're just following what the weather center says is going to happen. But that was ridiculous. Prepare yourself for epic floods. Build an ark. Nothing. Drops. Seriously? And now they're like, 20% change chance this afternoon, 70% tomorrow. Yeah, we don't believe you. We don't believe you anymore. Liars. Yeah. So we got to have a good weekend. Nice weather all weekend.
Yeah, yesterday, I guess, you could tailgate if you wanted to. The weather, it was cloudy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't raining.
49ers fans tailgated it up, I'm sure.
It just blows my mind. That's at least the second time this year at home that I've noticed it. to where the right guard has to look back at the quarterback.
I'll tell you this, as a longtime season ticket, Steelers, Pittsburgh, 49ers, Seahawks. Cardinals are always at a disadvantage in that stadium.
Cowboys?
Cowboys, though, is kind of evening out a little bit, to be honest with
you.
Well,
they're not that loud, are they?
No, that's the thing. Like you notice the blue and the white.
Right.
But it's not like overwhelming. Right. Unless they're winning, then they get loud. Yeah. Everybody else, like Niners or Packers, even if they're losing, they're just loud. Steelers fans are just loud. Cheering. Oh, you're down by 30, and they're over there cheering still. Woo! It's always that way for those events. Yeah.
Roof was open. Were you surprised about that?
Yeah, actually, it's by surprise. Flyover yesterday and everything. Yeah, roofs. It is interesting when they open. It's a different feel in that building when the roof's open. It is amazing how it feels different in there, and you can't explain it, but it's just like, like the old Curt Schilling thing where he didn't want the chase roof open or the panels open ever because he knew how to pitch with them closed.
He might have even just felt, like you said, felt different.
It's different. There's something about it. Now, the wind doesn't go down to the field like it does, even if it was windy outside, it wouldn't, the way it travels in there, it wouldn't go all the way down there. But it just feels different. I don't know how to describe it. It's just when you walk in, the roof's open, you're just like, oh, woo. So it is amazing to see. But hey, Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon.
Hold on, we're not done with the weather yet.
Oh.
So while you were at ASU, you didn't ask me about my weekend, but you don't really ever care about that.
We're going to get to that.
No, we're not. You're going straight to Jonathan Gannon.
No, I'm just congratulating him for his short tenure as an Arizona Cardinals head coach.
Don't tell me you're already calling for a firing. Steven, we found a new wide receiver one.
No, you had him all along, Dale. You've had him for 3 years.
So my weekend was a little less taxing than yours.
Yes,
we had a little get-together for Brooke's work Friday night.
Ooh, so you had to go hang out with her work friends?
Her work friends, and the pastor, is an unbelievable griller.
By the way, she works at a church.
Yes, she's a women's pastor.
This is what Dale had to deal with.
Yes. But it's a gorgeous evening. I get to meet all her people, and but I tell you what, he made some ribs and some brisket that was just,
He made them?
Yeah. And, pick it up with a fork and falling off your fork. It was so
Did you go back for thirds?
I had seconds. I will admit I had seconds.
Okay.
There's so much stuff. Somebody made these homemade biscuits.
You had so much stuff at your place, too. That's why we went back for more.
Well, you tried to go back that third time, and I
No, after the second experience, we sent Autumn. Me and your brother sent Autumn for that one, because that guy shamed us in the second one.
What you didn't know was there was a picture of Mark and you and two other people that the griller had. They come back up a third time, no moss.
Yeah, they didn't question Autumn going up there. That's all I know.
But no, great. But these homemade biscuits that were about yay big.
Yeah.
With homemade honey and butter. To freaking die for.
Homemade honey, does he have a bee?
Yeah, he does. So they make it. One of the people live on a farm, and
that's awesome.
It was really good. So I did that Friday night.
Nah, you were just in heaven.
And enjoying that. Saturday had
blowing up your phone with what's happening in SEA.
I thought you did do that.
I did.
A close game at SEA. We'll talk about that. A doubleheader flag football wise for Graham.
45 minutes. An hour and a half of football on Saturday.
But see, Steve, here's where you would be bitching and moaning. So 145-minute game, and then an hour and 15 minutes till the next game.
Say, how long was the layover? At least it was like 5 hours or whatever.
That's what you would be bitching about.
That's when I was a kid and we did that. Like we had soccer tournaments, and you play like at 9 in the morning, then you wouldn't play again till like 2.
Yeah.
You'd be at the Taco Bell down the road getting lunch and
Taco Bell
hanging out. This was the late 80s, dude, early 90s. That's what you did back then.
But you couldn't, they had their little snack packs.
Menu.
They had their little snack packs and all that.
Yeah.
But they couldn't sit still
That's
to
the problem.
save their lives.
They're running around like crazy.
And so I stayed for about the first half of the second game. I said it started to sprinkle, looked like it was going to rain.
Dale's like, I'm out of her.
I'm gone.
No
Graham,
umbrella?
I've seen no umbrella.
No poncho? You make
I
fun of me for
don't
the
own
poncho?
a poncho.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the first game it was
There's 70 cents in Walmart, man.
at 11. I think it was at 11:30.
Yeah. Oh,
So it was
that's a little
fairly
late.
sunny and it's
Yeah.
kind of warm.
Oh no, I'm not. No, at the ASU game, like I wore jeans just
Yeah.
in case like it got cold, and I'm glad I did because when the sun went behind the clouds, it actually got chilly a
Yes.
little bit. But no, when you were in the sun, you were baking.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my this side of my face is all red, and my arms on this arm on this side's red, and then this arm's all red. Yeah, no, it was hot when the sun was beating down on you.
So it started to sprinkle, and it looked like more was
Yeah.
coming. I said, you know what? I've been to every Graham Tate's football game, so
This was the one he
so
scored
okay.
7 touchdowns, and you missed it.
I said, did I miss anything in the second half? And Hiller and Scott said, no, they were worn out from playing in between games.
That's the problem. They all needed naps. They were cranky and needed naps.
Yeah.
You're like, so does Grandpa. So does Pop. Yeah. So did they win them both? Well, they lost the second one. Did they win the
They
first
lost
one?
the second
Because
one.
there's playoffs, right?
They tied the first one. There's no overtime rules in 6 and under flag football.
Okay.
You know,
They just
so
tie it. They both teams move on. How's that work?
well, playoffs start next week.
Oh,
so-
I thought okay, because the other league I was at playoff. I assume playoffs started for every team now. Okay,
no, it starts
for every
starts next
league,
week,
the
so-
NFL league. Okay, because the other one I went to on Thursday night was that was the playoff game.
Right.
They lost, so they're done.
So did that. Gosh, I don't even know what I did Saturday night. I already forgot. And then Sunday got up with anticipation of watching with some golf.
Yeah, you went to the old-timey golf
Yeah,
tournament down there.
Santan Ford was nice enough to get us tent tickets there on the 18th green.
Yeah, good for you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Watching a par 5. Well, I thought you were going to be at the Cardinal game. I didn't know that you were going to.
Yeah, I did. By the way, I did not go to the Cardinals game.
I did
yesterday,
not
just so
think
know.
you were going to be a sellout, but that's a discussion for another day.
It's not. See, that's the difference. It's not me being a sellout. One, I knew what was going to happen.
No,
But
you
two,
didn't.
oh no, the Cardinals were getting destroyed. I said it last week. Cardinals were getting destroyed in that game with Brock Purdy coming back, Purcell coming back, CMC doing what he does. Niners got healthy at the perfect time to have this be a practice yesterday. But the other reason was I mean, this is what I did last week. Thursday night, that flag football game. Friday night SEA, which ended up only being a 2-hour game again, which, by the way, I'm falling in love with these 2-hour football games. We were in the car leaving at 9. That's after talking to Mike on the field and doing all that stuff.
Right.
I was in the car going home at 9 p.m. I'm loving them too much. It's 2 in a row now. Got home and did all my stuff and everything. It's just Saturday ASU all day. It's just worn out, man. I needed a break, and I had no interest in going and watching. And I've seen the Niners 1,000 times. If that would have been the Jaguars or somebody that I'm interested in seeing, I would have gone. But I've seen the Niners 1 billion times in my life, and I didn't want to go see a blowout after all that. I needed a break. Dale. And that was the game I chose to take a break on.
Okay. Well,
So I'm not a sellout. I'm not like all these other people.
you sold them to 49er fans.
I don't know who.
Yeah,
they're 49ers
yeah.
fans.
Oh.
Well, I got news for you, Dale. You're not selling them to Cardinals fans. I couldn't give them away to Cardinals fans. I tried.
That is turning out to be really interesting
tried.
this year.
I tried, Dale. And
But the
nobody
golf
wanted-
tournament on we sat there on the 18th green. It's a par 5.
Yep.
And
Phoenix Country Club,
Yeah,
folks.
Phoenix Country Club, and probably 90. I think there were 2 guys. No, probably 4 guys went for the green. 1 guy hit the green in 2.
Par 5, but what's the yard? It's a long yardage. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Well,
I don't even
long
know
yardage
how
for us, but
yeah,
for them, it's
well,
long enough.
for the old guys too.
Yeah.
But there's water to the right of the green.
Mhm.
Our stands are on the left. The wind's blowing from right to left.
Uh-oh.
And so when the first guy who hit a shot going for the green, all of a sudden you see caddy and golfer pointing to their left, which means
Yeah.
it's coming towards us somewhere.
Yes. And you have no idea where.
It hit right below us, bounced off a guy's umbrella, and stayed there in the stands. Well, I think 3 or 4 other people hit, and I thought they were just aiming for the stands because
Yeah.
they want to go in the water.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing how good those guys are when they'd lay up and they'd have about 100 yards in.
So what you lose in golf as you get old, you lose your distance.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't compete in the PGA, is because their tee shots are 300 yards, and you're only able to do 220 or 200 or something.
Yeah, 240.
And then the stamina too. But they still have all the skills.
They do. And it was just amazing to see how many guys were from 100 yards out hit it to 3 feet.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
But probably, it was fun to watch.
Who was the biggest named old timer that was there?
Well, Stuart Sink won it.
Yeah, I know he won it. Yeah, so was he the biggest guy?
Like Bernard Langer.
We have a lot of people that live here that are on the old tour. So
yeah, because it's good on your body with the warmth and and all that.
But to be fair, they lived here while they played too. For a private course, that's a beautiful course. It's still private after all these years, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so it was a fun afternoon. Then went home and watched.
Ford sponsors that whole thing, right?
Yeah, they do. Santam Ford. So it was a fun afternoon, and got home, so got the updates on the Cardinal game, but still watched it. I wanted to bludgeon myself.
You wanted to torture yourself.
And
we got up and left. We ended up leaving. I ended up turning off the TV to go get dinner. 5 minutes left or so. I was like, I can't do any more of this. Let's get out of here. Let's go grab dinner.
Isn't it weird that now those 2:00 games, it's dark when they're
I hate it. I hate everything about it, man.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it. And that's why I was able to listen to the post game. Usually, which I rarely do, but when I do stay home, I never catch the post game. But I was able to catch it because we went and grabbed dinner afterwards and stuff like that. So I just can't stand. I get it, man. They work for the post game for ASU games. They work for Sun Devil Network. You know, so they get paid by the team and the organization. And then you got the guys, Craig Grialou and them, and just the way they talk down to their people calling in. The whole point of that show is to have normal people call in that aren't media savvy, media trained, that have opinions.
Yeah.
And sometimes those opinions are a little out there, right? We all know people that have those opinions. You guys aren't at home watching us right now because you're informed, because you watch it and you listen to us. But that's the whole point of it. And the way they talk down to their listeners who say stuff, just ignore it if you don't like what they're saying. And just ignore it and move around it. Like, you're the media person. You should know how to get around. The way they talk down to their listeners, taking the time to call in and participate in their show, just actually bothers the crap out of me.
Well, it's the age-old thing with them, the fact that if I'm analyzing the game, if I'm Grialou or Fredrickson or whoever.
Yeah, and it's not Fredrickson, I'll put it that way.
What credibility do I have if I paint a pretty picture on that game?
A guy called up and said, "What do you guys think? Kyler Murray seen his last game here?" Well, we don't have to make that decision right now. We can do that at the end of the season. And if you're worried about that now, you're worried about the wrong things.
What should I be worried about?
What are you talking about? That's a legitimate question. Mm-hmm. We've hashed it here, but now that he's on IR, it's not something we're going to talk about, because until he comes back,
right?
Then we'll talk about it again. But for the common fan out there, they're not listening to talk radio every day, dealing with that and everything, and that's their opportunity to get an expert deal, and you just boo-hoo it. It's just disgusting. We've talked about that with the ASU one this year, where they just flat out was like, enough of this. It's the whole point. If you aren't going to take the phone calls and deal with it, and part of the problem is I listen to a lot of post-game stuff like in Philadelphia, Dallas, Chicago, and those people call in with just nutbag ideas, those fans. And those guys on the radio like feed into it, and they play it up. They yell at each other about it and everything. And it's like it's a fun, hilarious thing to listen to. And here it's like they shut you down. Boom.
Yep.
Like with the refs. Oh, the refs had a bad day, but I mean they did still commit them, and it's just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I
wouldn't worry about the refs. There's other things to worry about. No, that is a talking point today. 17 penalties to 1.
Well, hold on. A franchise record.
Yeah.
17.
they were what 4 away from the NFL record on top of it. But then it looks even worse because the Niners only had 1. You mean to tell me the Niners only committed 1 flaggable offense
Discipline, Steve.
on Sunday? Is that what it is?
Discipline, Steve.
That's just okay. That's just hard to believe, Dale. I am not a conspiracy theorist when it comes to this stuff. That is not a coincidence. I am sorry.
Well, and the thing
And
is,
I do think most of the Cardinals flags were legit. Would I have thrown them? Some of them? No.
the thing
But I understand
is,
why they threw them.
when did they happen? Again,
Well,
you get a long run, and that's when it gets called.
You catch a long, beautiful pass down the sideline, and you decide to do the one gesture the NFL says you can't do.
Yep.
And
why is that? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know, but it goes to that whole slashing of the throat and all that garbage. They don't want you doing anything like that.
Well, and again, so
I don't
if
know.
you know it,
That's my point.
if you know it,
Trey-
you
Trey
can say
knows it.
that's ticky tack.
So I think it's ridiculous that they throw a flag in that situation, but it's the rule.
Yep.
They've emphasized it. I think it's the stupidest flag on the planet. But you're gonna get flagged when you do it.
Well, because I heard Daryl Johnston talking about it.
Well, that
on-
was so when they
on
first
broadcast.
when it first happened, it just looked like he did his first down gesture.
Yeah.
And even I was at home going, that is ridiculous that
Yeah.
they do it. Then they did the replay and you saw him do that.
Yeah.
And then they actually showed a clip where Trey was talking to the ref and the ref goes, "You did that," and then
Yeah.
started laughing.
Yeah,
And then you're like, "Oh," and then they showed it again and you're like, "Okay, that's what it was."
right.
So until you saw that portion of it, you were like, this is the stupidest. I saw it all over social media, Barstool, all these people put it out there. It's like, this was a penalty,
Yeah.
but they didn't have that first gesture on there, But I think it's stupid. It's like the penalty, like the one holding call on the one long run. It was on the opposite side of the line. Had nothing to do with the play. That guy wasn't getting to the ball. That guy wasn't anything to do with the play whatsoever, and he tugged at his shoulder pads. Blue flag. Those penalties drive me nuts because it had nothing to do with the play.
Yes. And you could
It-
call
nothing
that.
at all.
And you could call that on almost.
Yes. And they throw the
everybody.
flag. I hate it. I hate everything about it. But it was a holding penalty, and you throw the flag. It's the rule. So you could say So there's 2 sides to this argument. First side is it's stupid that you threw it, but the other side of it at the same time is, okay, I get why you threw it.
Right.
You know.
Because see, what we
They get
don't
judged.
know, is that the way the NFL grading crew
Referees
looks
get
at it?
judged on that. If they go and watch the film this week,
Yep.
and that ref did not throw that flag on that obvious hold away from the play, he gets downgraded, and it hurts his chances to make more money come playoff.
And that's what I wondered. Does he
Yeah.
get dinged, or do they say, hey, if a slight tug on the jersey doesn't affect the play,
Well, that we
let
don't
it
know.
go?
That we don't know.
We don't know that.
But I suspect they get dinged.
Yeah.
I suspect they get because his job is to watch that part of the field.
Right.
Every ref has a certain area they're supposed to watch. That's why a lot of times you'll say that ref was looking right at it. Well, no, he wasn't. It looks like he was looking at it, but he was watching his responsibilities. It's not his job to call that. That's also why it drives me nuts when you see somebody, like something happens on the right side of the field and you see somebody on the left side launch a flag about 45 yards. I'm like, that guy shouldn't even have been watching.
No, you
that
pay
part.
attention to your
Yeah,
area.
he wasn't watching his side of it. That drives me nuts too. There's legitimacy to this, but just the way the after thing was just poo-pooing the people calling and complaining about it, and it's just like you can have a legit conversation about it. It's just I don't get why you go through this process of allowing people to call in if you're just going to dismiss them.
But see, understand something. In Philadelphia, in Chicago, in Dallas, those franchises aren't calling the radio station and saying, hey, because Michael Bidwell's probably listening to that.
Yes. If Bidwell's not, he's got somebody listening to it that's reporting back to him on what's being said. No, in Philadelphia, like last night after that Eagles game, right? And they won it.
Right.
I guarantee you there were arguments on that post-game call line on what things that were happening out there.
Should have won by more. Should have been this call.
And the radio people buy into it, and they talk about it, and they go back and forth on it. And they will call listeners idiots, by the way. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just they don't dismiss them to that same extent. They talk about it and stuff like that. I don't know. It just needs to change, man.
I I've
So
forgotten
close, man.
about this because I think this is the first time I listened to a little bit of the game on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
As in the fourth quarter, as we're
AQ
driving
Shipley?
home. Initially, not a huge fan, but
Oh, is he growing on you?
no, I just my initial because yesterday was the first time
Yeah, I've listened to him
Yeah.
a couple times
But,
just because I was curious.
what I was gonna say is I know Dave Pash fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
We used to cross paths a lot when I was doing college football
Of
all the
course.
time.
Yeah.
And I love how he can't hide it in his voice when he gets disgusted with Arizona Cardinal football.
Yes, but he can't say anything.
No, but his tone of voice
You can tell with this.
tells you,
Yeah.
and another penalty.
Yeah.
That's 16.
No, you're right, and he can't be overtly critical
No,
because
no.
he'd get yanked off the air in 2 seconds.
Right?
But there's that's what the good ones do, though. They're able to tell the disgust without bashing them and stuff like that and things to that effect. AQ Shipley, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to grow on me or not. I don't. I'm not a fan so far. I mean,
Well, the thing is, he's the complete opposite of what you've been listening to the last 20 years.
He's too technical in my mind, if I can say that. He watches so much film going to the game that he breaks down the technicality of the game. And on radio, I don't think it works as well as it goes. He's got to find his voice, is what I'm arguing here. I think he can be good. But that's the problem. Wolfley wasn't technical at all.
Well, and the difference in emotion
Yes.
and excitement
Yes.
and things like that.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's got to find his voice and find his cue. But I also think this season's kind of a wash because of what, like when I tune in, even today, I know it's not going to be, and I expect to hear that type of an attitude. So I think it'll take a season or so for us to get used to it. So it's not, it's not my style. I do think it clashes with Pash a little bit, if I have to be honest with you. But that's not his fault. They've got to find the right voice here as the season goes on. Like the Cardinals, they got to clean it up, Dale. They got to clean it up.
Well,
Week 12.
And I want you to think about this before you go to break because I thought about this driving in this morning. Trey McBride are arguably top 3 tight end in the league.
Yeah. Oh, not arguably. He's top 3 tight end. You can argue if he's 1, 2, or 3, but
Right.
he is top 3 tight ends in the league.
And what I'm going to say to you, I want you to think about it over the break. Is he becoming a little bit too much Draymond Green-like? When Draymond Green was really good.
What do you mean by that? Let me ask you what you mean by that, because I have a perception that I've noticed about him lately. So do you mean?
Okay, well, you asked me, so what I'll tell you is.
What I mean is, set me up on what you're thinking about, what angle you're going with before we go to break, and then I'll think about it.
Does he ever run a route where he's not held, interfered with? And he bitches with the officials.
That's what I've noticed as well. So
it seems like almost every time. And then yesterday when I saw he got bumped by a 49er guy and he threw himself.
Yeah, he flopped. Yeah. So we'll think about that a little bit. I've noticed that a lot lately as well. Even after that penalty down the sideline. It's constant talking to the ref about it.
Yes.
It's like, get back in the huddle, man.
It just dawned on me that he's really good. I'm not taking anything away from him being really good.
That's why I asked you, because I noticed something else about Trey McBride also and his play, which isn't a negative, but I've just noticed it's changed a little bit. And that's why I wanted to know if you were talking about the drama side or if you were talking about the play on the field kind of a side is what we're looking at. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Woo-wee! What a day. What a Monday morning. Come on back, folks, the main event. And we're back here, main events. So Dale asked the question. I've noticed because I've watched 2 games away from the stadium. There's 2 home games away from the stadium this year. And I will say this. I've noticed it in that Packers game, and I noticed it yesterday as well, what you're saying about Trey McBride. I don't know, I wouldn't have equated him to Draymond, but it seems like, I'm going to use the word flopping a little bit more, but also on his route running. You know, he's more physical, and he's always turning to the refs and talking to them. Yeah. So I will be at the game this weekend, Jaguars, because this is a game I want to see regardless of how the Cardinals are playing. And you're not going to be able to sell the tickets to save your life this weekend. Just warning you, Cardinals fans, prepare yourself. There are no Jaguars fans around in this part of the world. But no, the serious thing is no, I've noticed it a lot. I don't ever remember sitting in the stadium. I could probably a couple times I've seen it, but I never saw it. It just comes off on TV a lot worse, where he's just always talking to an official about something.
And every pass route he runs,
yes,
it's this, looking at an official, and that just reminds me or jawing.
Yes, even with the other players, I've noticed
and it just kind of and I'm not saying talent-wise that Trey McBride's not more important to the Cardinals than Draymond was to the Golden State Warriors.
Is he? I mean, they are a lot more physical with him, but a tight end, generally, they run routes that are, you can touch a receiver up till 5-yard line, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. So he is going to be more physical with down there, especially because of how important he is to the Cardinals offense and stuff like that. So I have no doubt that he's being guarded more physical from that side. But also yesterday, I will say this. There were a lot of plays that I watched the replays on. I haven't seen the all 22 yet. I do that later in the week. I do that starting tonight and go and finish it later in the week. But there were a lot of 49ers that were touching Cardinals receivers and trying to affect the play. We'll just put it that way. A lot yesterday with no flags. There was one on Garrett Wilson where guy had literally his hand around his hip before the ball got there. And even Dale Johnson was all. He was even like, well, all right. Like you're not allowed to touch them and put your hands around their waist.
Right.
He's like, oh, maybe it didn't affect the play. It doesn't matter if it affects the play or not. So, but I've noticed that about him as well. I'll say this. Several Cardinals receivers I've noticed lately, when they don't catch it, they're looking around at the officials.
Okay.
So it's something we'll have to keep our eyes on from this side. And then the other thing on the Cardinals here before, of course, we get into the game a little bit more is it's the yearly cycle, man, with the Cardinals fan base. And I get it better than anybody. I've been a season ticket holder since 96. That was my freshman year at ASU.
You're gonna have a 30th anniversary party next year when you re-up?
I have to. I have another year on my contract.
Okay.
So I'm stuck for another year, folks. But here's the interesting thing. Every year, they don't perform, and then everybody starts going, I'm not renewing my tickets. And then next year, I sit around all the people that didn't renew their tickets. I'll say this about the Cardinals. They don't care if you don't renew. You think it's affecting them, but it doesn't. I went through this. Remember, I went through this famously, last time I renewed, where I was like, I'm not going to renew. They didn't call once. And then one day, I ran into someone who was like, hey, you're not doing your tickets again? And then they're like, why not? And then I got the phone call, talking about doing it again and stuff like that. They don't care because there are people that are willing to do it when you drop your tickets. Period, end of story. And it amazes me, especially the newer Cardinals fans, where they like that Mr. AZ Sports. I know I kind of chide him a little bit on here and everything, but he's an Arizona sports fan. But he's like, things need to change. I'm not renewing my tickets. And I responded to him last night and I said, I've been seeing ticket holders in 96. This is how it goes. Bad year. Coach gets blown out. New coach comes in. You get some hope. They have some success. You get your hopes up. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And then bad year. Then every wash, rinse, repeat, Dale. Every time. This is how it goes as a Cardinals fan. And you canceling your season tickets and you going, I'm not giving them another dime as long as Bidwell's owner. They don't care. It's been this way. How long have they been in the Valley? Since 86? It's been this way since 88, folks. I'll give the first 2 or 3 or 4 years different because that was Neil Lomax and they were actually competing for stuff.
Until he hurt his hip.
The early 90s on, it has been this way, folks, for the Cardinals. Nothing's going to change. Nothing. This is how the Cardinals do. When you go poverty on your coaching staff and don't go get experienced coaching staffs, this is what happens. Because every once in a while, Ken Whisenhunt, boom, pops his head up, makes it to the Super Bowl. Do you remember that regular season, anybody? Does anybody remember that regular season? They went to Philadelphia in a snowstorm on Thanksgiving night and got their butts handed to them. They went into the playoffs, 8-8?
Well, they also lost to the Patriots 52
Yes.
to something.
It was not a good year. And then we were like, holy crap, we went to the we're where? Or maybe it was the Patriots, not the Eagles. It was whatever that Thursday night
I think they got twice. I don't know who the two teams
you might
were,
be
but
right because I remember that. And, and it wasn't a good year, but they made the Super Bowl, right? And stuff to that effect. Bad organizations, they're bad organizations because they keep doing the same thing with the same results. That's what the Cardinals do. And you threatening to give up your season tickets, they don't care. Because there's somebody that's going to take your spot behind you.
Right.
So it is amazing that we're in that throes of this season as well. I will say this. This is the first time where even I'm like, ugh, if I didn't have another year to go on my contract, I don't know if I'd be back next year. I cannot stand, like we just talked about Trey McBride and other receivers and all that stuff. Look, I've been through this so many times that I'm kind of numb to it, which is funny because Autumn sits there and Autumn's like, oh, we got a chance today. And I'm like, yeah, no chance today. Zero chance today. It's so predictable that I was like, yeah, I have no chance today against the Niners. This is going to be a blowout city, blah, blah, blah. And then on top of it, so you got those fans, and then you got the old jaded guys like me, right, from that perspective. But this is the first time I was not a Ken Whisenhunt fan at all. The guy just rubbed me the wrong way. But at no point until after when he started losing and started doing all of his stuff that he did, after that Super Bowl year, this is the first time where I have turned on a coach this quickly ever. And I'm sitting there yesterday. Every big play that went against the Cardinals, the camera cut to Jonathan Gannon. And what was he doing? Arms crossed, just staring off into whatever. No movement. He was a statue. Just put a statue out there. It's ridiculous. No walking over to his offensive coordinator and saying something to him. He's just standing there, staring off into the Netherlands of whatever's happening right there with his arms crossed. And it bothers me. So I don't know why it bothers me so much, Dale. I watched a lot of football yesterday because I was that first time I've sat at home and watched a lot of football in a long time. Mike McDaniels taking his headset off, walking halfway onto the field to argue a pass interference penalty. That was so egregious. Jonathan Gannon just stands there with his arms crossed. Bad teams' coaches are still fighting for their teams and their jobs. Jonathan Gannon just stands there and does nothing. And it bothers the crap out of me.
Well, tell me tell me this, because this is what I noticed yesterday.
You're choking?
There were two guys who started the season as starters with the Arizona Cardinals who were also on the sidelines yesterday. And now they're on IR. Or one's injured, the other one's on IR. And they showed some shots of them on the sidelines. Yeah. And they could have cared less if they were at that football game.
I think Marvin Harrison's hood got tighter and tighter as the game went on.
I'm sitting there going, I'm watching them, and they're not talking to any teammates.
They did show Kyler a couple times talking to teammates. I will give him that.
Guys in uniform?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No. Let me be clear. He was back. He wasn't near the front of the side. He was in the back, sitting on the benches, and he was talking to a couple teammates. But the teammates had to go to him to talk to him. It wasn't like he was up there trying to coach him and stuff. But Marvin Harrison, did he look just bored?
He looked like I would rather be anywhere.
And he had that tight hoodie pulled
Yeah.
tight, and it was just like his face was only like this.
You know, it's interesting. I just pulled this up.
Yeah.
You might be surprised. You might not be.
Nothing
Since-
surprises me anymore.
So
Dave.
since they moved to Arizona, that's all we'll look at.
So 86.
88.
88. Oh, 88. Okay. Yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals have employed 11 coaches.
Yeah.
How many of them have a winning record?
Well, see, okay, I look at this two ways. I'm going to preface this by saying I look at the coaching thing two different ways. Two of them, three of them have a winning record. Overall, just as a Cardinals coach?
Yeah, it shows a Cardinals coach.
Two of them have a winning record.
And who would you say those
Bruce
are?
Arians.
Okay. And you're right in that one.
Vince Tobin.
Vince Tobin. Because he beat the Cowboys in the playoffs? No, his coaching record in Arizona, 28-43 for a 394.
Gene Stallings.
Gene Stallings only coached 1 year here, got fired. He was at a 405 winning clip.
Didn't he leave and go to Alabama? He didn't get fired, did he? Didn't he go to? I was young then.
I don't know. Well, something happened during the middle of the year because a guy named Hank Coolman coached the last 5 games.
Okay, then he got fired. And he went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going old school here because I know Bruce Arians one of them. It can't be Ken Whisenhunt because he didn't have a win. I think he was 8-8 in that Super Bowl year.
Ken Whisenhunt had a 469 winning percentage.
Okay. I'm forgetting somebody.
By the way, he's the second best.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. So only one has a winning record.
Yes.
Well, why you letting me still guess?
Well, because I just wanted to let you go. Yeah,
No, that's my point. Is if it was somebody else besides Bruce Arians, you're going back to the beginning tenure of this team.
Joe Bugle had a 31% winning
Dave
percentage.
McGinnis, who I love to death as a head coach, I loved him coaching this team. Was terrible.
I'm not there yet. Buddy Ryan, 37%.
Yeah.
Vince Tobin, 39%. Your boy Dave McGinnis, 17-40.
Yeah,
29%.
One heartbeat.
Dennis Green, 33%.
Dennis Green was the one I was going to pick next that maybe he might have squeaked out a winning record, but it would have been like a game or two.
He was 16-32.
Yeah, so no. Yeah.
Whisenhunt, 46%.
Part of that is, though, is that when you get hired, the team's so bad, it takes you a year or two to dig out of that.
Well, the interesting thing is Ken Whisenhunt won 4 playoff games.
Yes. He had success.
Yes.
But that's my point. His first year, he was like 2 wins or 3 wins. Then his last year was disastrous.
Bruce Arians has a 62% win ratio.
So here's my problem with the car, like the names you just listed. Here's what bad franchises do. And we're going to go through this cycle again. The other thing that just disgusts me about what the Cardinals did this hiring cycle is they tampered with Jonathan Gannon.
A guy who didn't need to be tampered with.
Nobody else was knocking on his door. The Eagles were like, for the love of God, somebody take this guy off our hands. We don't even want him here. And the Cardinals tampered to get him. And this is what we're looking at. But here's what poverty franchises do. Because I was thinking about this yesterday. Because before the game started, I've been putting together my hot seat list. Like just people I think, minus the news stories, etc., stuff like that. And I've been teetering if I'm putting Jonathan Gannon on there or not. I officially put him on there yesterday during the game.
Okay.
But here's my problem with franchises that struggle. They don't hire experienced coaches. And if they do, it never works out. It rarely works out. Buddy Ryan was the right hire when they hired him. Buddy Ryan was a name. Buddy Ryan had a lot of success. It just didn't work out because Buddy Ryan had a big ego, brought his guys in that were all over the hill and brought their guys in and kind of treated them one way, treated the other people another way, and it just failed miserably. Dennis Green, a lot of success, folks, before the Cardinals hired him. Not a wrong hire. Hey, you went and got Denny Green, what? And then he falls on his face.
Yep.
And then other than that, you go and you get, Vince Tobin, who had some success here. Beat you guys. In the playoffs.
He did. God, how did that ever happen?
I'm still trying to figure it out
How
myself.
did that ever
The Jake
happen?
Plummer happened right there. That's what happened. You guys overlooked him. That's what
Yes.
happened.
No doubt about it.
Then, then Then you got Dave McGinnis, who was just a fantastic human being.
Mm-hmm.
You love him to death, but without talent, he's not going to be able to do anything. There's a reason why Cardinals coaches never get an opportunity to go anywhere else and coach again. It's because this is their last stop if they're a named coach, or it's their only stop because they fail miserably and nobody else wanted him as a head coach.
So I can
This
think
is what
of
bad franchises do, Dale.
I can think
Jets.
of two.
The Jets are doing it right now.
You
You can name all these bad franchises.
I can think of two head coaches that went on and got another job after they got let go here. Didn't Whisenhunt get a head coaching job somewhere?
No, he was in San Diego offensive coordinator, wasn't he? Did he get another chance?
Tennessee Titans?
No, that was McGinnis went there as an offensive coordinator.
Huh.
If he did, he was.
Well, we know Bruce Arians went to Tampa Bay.
Yes.
So Bruce Arians got another gig.
Bruce Arians is the one I'm not counting on this because Bruce Arians was a good head coach. Do you know people know how Bruce Arians retired here? Because they wouldn't give him any power that he wanted.
Right.
So he goes, all right, I'm going to retire. And then Tampa's like, we'll give you that power. So when I'm back. I'm healed. Hallelujah. I'm back.
That's right. He had some health issues, didn't he?
Yeah, that cancer or whatever. And amazing how that healed, Dale, when he got what he wanted there in Tampa. Stuff like that. You are correct. Tennessee Titans head coach, 2014, 2015. So you are correct.
Okay.
But that wasn't going anywhere. Ken Whisenhunt wasn't a good head coach at all, anywhere where he was at.
Right.
So you're right. So there's a couple that got it, but it's rare that happens.
Yes.
But the teams that are successful, I'm just going to go Patriots. Yeah, they had Bill Belichick for how many years? 20-something years, right? Then they tried to go cheap, Mayo. And they were like, nope. What did they do? Let's go get one of the young, hot, up-and-coming coaches that have proven himself in Tennessee. Coached here. Let's get him here. Boom. Hey, we tried to go the other way. It didn't work out. Let's go back to what we know. Let's go get a coach out there, right? The Jets going with Aaron Glenn. Oh, he's an ex-player. That doesn't work out very often. Now it's happening out with Dan Campbell. It's happening there, that type of stuff. But that's what these Packers say. I like Matt LaFleur. And if Matt LaFleur becomes available today and you're Michael Bidwell, you better be making a phone call.
Well, see, here's the thing also. I don't know how many people you have on that hot seat, but,
A lot.
you've already got an opening in New York.
Yep. And Tennessee.
And Tennessee. You're probably going to have, on average, you have about 6 openings every year. If the Cardinals' job were to open, historically, they're going to be the last job that you're going to take. So if you're a high-ranking, popular coach,
they don't even look at the
they're
Cardinals.
not even going to come visit
This is my
here.
point. This is why things don't change. Remember when Peyton Manning became a free agent? He came here because he had a relationship with Ken Whisenhunt.
Yeah.
And he did it as a friend. He was never coming here. He did it because he knew Ken Whisenhunt and was like, I'll help you out, coach. I'll come visit. He was never coming, right? That's what happens here. No Sean Paytons are coming here. No Vrabels are coming here. You're going to have to keep doing this and hope you hit on a young guy out there. And that is the problem with the Arizona Cardinals. It's no different than the Falcons, right? A team that's just always in turmoil. Every once in a while they stick their head up, but then they get Raheem Morris as their head coach this year.
Yeah.
What? Dan Quinn in his first stint. Sometimes you get lucky with the second stint of guys, but now he's got a lot of injuries, but it's not working out for Dan Quinn right now in Washington this year, right? It's just this is what poverty franchises do. So in terms of my hot seat right now, and I did not put Matt LaFleur on this hot seat because I think Matt LaFleur is safe. It depends how their season ends. If they make the playoffs and they get blown out in game 1 of the playoffs, there's a chance he could be forced out. But if they make a run, he's not going anywhere. So to me, that's not a hot seat to me. To me, that is we give you a lot of money. We've given you a lot of talent. If you fail, that's on you, and then we'll get rid of you. That's not the hot seat side of it right now for Matt LaFleur. So I did leave him off of it. I did put as an honorable mention on my list here, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. His time is coming up in Pittsburgh, but they're not going to fire him. That's why I put honorable mention.
Right.
It's going to be one of those, we mutually decided to part ways. Both sides need a break. It's not him, it's me. Or it's going to be the Mike Tomlin saying, "Hey, I've been doing this a long time and I'm tired. I need to take some time off, focus on my family." They'll disguise that as something else than Mike Tomlin being fired.
3 coaches in
Rightfully
the history
so.
of the franchise.
Rightfully so. That's what the Steelers should do for Mike Tomlin.
Right.
So that's why he's an honorable mention, because he's on the hot seat, but they're not going to fire him. It's gonna be something else that's going to happen. But I've got Raheem Morris with the Falcons. They will keep. I think right now they're willing to keep him, but that team is dreadful. Expectations have been terrible. They cannot figure out what to do with that offense, and it's amazing with all the talent they have there. So I do think he's in trouble.
Well, they've lost 5 in a row.
Yes,
They started off 3-2.
and they were overwhelmingly favorites to win that division and compete for that. And they have talent galore on that offensive side. Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. I do know that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, wants to keep him. I just don't know if you can with the outside pressure, because that team is failing him. I do like Mike McDaniel as a head coach. He's a little weird, but I do like him as a head coach as well. But Kevin Stefanski, I think he's gone in Cleveland, and that's not his fault.
Right.
I actually think he's a fairly good coach as well. Zach Taylor with the Bengals. Unless they go on a big winning streak when Joe Burrow comes back, I do believe he's gone as well this year. And, of course, Aaron Glenn with the Jets. I don't care what Woody Johnson says. Now, he might not want to eat that deal. But the media has turned on him. The fans have turned on him. The players have turned on him. Because they worry fans not caring is what the owners care about, right? And so they can buy all the tickets they want. They can sell it every game because of the Jets in New York, and they can sell that out. But the fans showing up and sitting on their hands the whole time and not caring, that will turn, and then losing the locker room, of course. And then I did put Jonathan Gannon firmly on the hot seat now. The reason being is you cannot be this bad and non-competitive in your division and keep your job in year 3. You just can't. If they were getting blown out by the Packers, by teams outside of the division, but they were competitive in the division, this would be a different story. You cannot go get blown out by the Seahawks and the 49ers and expect to keep your job.
Well, to me, with Jonathan Gannon, there's so many things going into this. It's your 3rd year. Everything was pointing towards this year.
Yes.
They
sold us.
with him.
They sold us on this 3-year deal.
All that. The unfortunate thing is you have 3 really good teams in your division. And guess what? 3 pretty damn good head coaches.
But here's the problem. Here's how I'm looking at this. The 49ers, same injuries as the Cardinals.
More, they had that stat on the TV, more games lost because of injury.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And it's also their skill positions. We're not talking about the 3rd-string tackle that's losing.
We're talking about their 2, Joey Bosa and
Fred Warner.
And Fred, they're 2 best defensive guys.
Purcell's been out.
Yes.
Purdy's been out for 7 games. Yeah. They don't even have Ayuk yet back.
No. And so.
And that is the problem. The Niners have 7 wins on the season with the same injury problems that the Cardinals have, and you don't. It's a terrible look. And then you want to add the Seahawks on top of it. And the Rams are the best team in this division. You got them twice coming up. That's what's going to do you in as a head coach.
Well, and then the second part of it is, if you continue to get blown out.
Yes, that's the issue number 2.
Now you're embarrassing the owner.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing the organization. Again, it's one thing to lose 22 to 21 on a last-second field goal. You play it hard.
Competitive.
Yeah.
And it's not competitive from the kickoff. It's not you lose the game in the 3rd quarter, your defense gets tired, and they go and blow you out. It's not competitive from the kickoff.
Which is where you go look at coaching.
Yes. If they're down 33 to, but then I look at the end of the half. That disaster, trying to force the ball down the field, turnover, and then they get 3 more points, 6 points in the last minute and whatever of the half to go down 25-10.
Well, because of that, because
it could have been 19-10.
The long snapper just got pummeled by poor Calais Campbell, and
Well, I mean, that play right there, but the turnover leads to 3 more points.
Yeah.
So instead of 19-10, it's 25-10 then on a team, right? Then the opening kickoff, and it's just like, what? So when we come back, we'll keep it rolling here. Second hour main event. I promise we'll get to the fun of ASU, folks, coming up. I promise.
How about them Wildcats?
And your Wildcats. And we're back here, main event, having some fun as best as we can, talking Cardinals out there. But you want to know before
I'm going to interrupt you
Yep.
real quick because I know we're not going to touch on it, but I just want to get this out of what's fresh on my mind. Did you see Bill Belichick after the game Saturday?
how he didn't shake the dude's hand?
Arms folded.
Yeah.
The other dude excited to meet him.
Took his hat
off like
Yeah.
he just finished 18th hole
Like
at the
it's
Masters.
respect, yeah.
And Belichick, I don't know if he raised his hand just to give him a little girl handshake.
Yeah, he did. He did something.
What on earth? is
Yeah,
going
Bill
on?
Belichick. Okay, I'll put it. I'll be frank about this. Bill Belichick, like, I've always wondered if he's a good guy or not, and you've heard that he is with his players, but
Yes.
away from it, you've heard, oh, he could be fun, whatever. I just think he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't get his way, he's just a giant crybaby, curmudgery man, and he's just been that way his whole life. Which I could see why he failed at every stint. Coaches like that, like Rich Rod, West Virginia, just grumpy, my way or the highway. Coaches just don't make it because people don't want to play for him.
Right.
And no, I agree with you. When I saw that, and I was just like, dude, the dude even took his hat off to show respect to you, man, and you act that way. Spend a couple minutes today. Hey, great program, appreciate it. You're on your way up. That would mean that would mean so much to that guy.
Yes.
And when it comes down to it, you're all in the same coaching tree, and that's what you're supposed to do if you're an elder statesman, is kind of hype up the other guys.
Didn't
he
like
just
it.
misses it. Yeah, he misses it 100%. But before we get to there's. People are oh, Brissett this and Brissett that. This offense is terrible. Now, there were some god-awful play calls. That 2-point conversion where they flare out the running back and runs it wide was an absolute garbage play call. There were some other ones, some RPOs earlier in the game that were absolutely garbage play calls.
Did he forget who was the quarterback? Did Petsy forget who was the quarterback?
53 for the Niners. It was in the backfield waiting for the ball and stuff like that. Before we get to all the stuff out there, though, after the game, I always go to the press conference right off the bat. So I click over and I go to log into the press conference. This is the Cardinals, folks. After this second game in a row, they get blown out. This time they're at home and everything. This is the Cardinals after the game. This is what graphic was playing when you tuned in to watch the press conference yesterday by the Cardinals. They recorded it and put it back out as a replay later on, folks.
So he didn't use any bad words or anything, and they had to go dark.
Nope. It was like that from the start. just, I mean, does that not? I just laughed. I just laughed and laughed and laughed. I was just like, this sums it up right here, man. Just sums it up.
It's a perfect ending to the day, wasn't it? By the way, 4 minutes ago.
Yep. What happened?
Oh, never mind.
No.
Hey, you were asking about Michael Penix.
Yep.
He suffered season-ending ACL tears to his left knee in both 18 and 20.
Both times in college, he had serious ACL issues.
To his left knee.
Yeah. And I believe he hurt his left knee yesterday as well. I don't know. I believe it was his left knee. I saw the injury, and he's going for second opinion today. But, I mean, I'm no doctor. But if this is 3 major ACL tears in one knee over the course of 10 years, that cannot be good for a running quarterback. You better learn to throw in the pocket. If I'm honest with you. Wow. And that was his concern coming out of college is his knee's going to hold up.
And those ACL recoveries, they suck.
Yeah, and your third one, and you're older now on top of it. I imagine the more you have, it's not one of those where like, I've been there before, this will be easy. I think it gets harder, right?
Yeah, because it's 6 months of you're alone, but going through pain and agony and
yeah.
All right, go back to the great press conference.
You're good. So I don't have any clips because I don't want to bore you guys with clips, Dale. No clips because that's what we got. I had to watch it later on when they posted the replay of it. But Jonathan Gannon said we're on the mat. When the alarm goes off tomorrow, you better wake up.
Did he pound the dais or anything?
Nope. He walked in cocky like he does. Exact same attitude, exact same body language. I will say this, watching the replay, and I couldn't encapsulate it with just clips. You just have to watch it. He's it's hitting him. Yeah. This is hitting him of, oh no, we have problems. And he's at least, I'm not saying he didn't think that before. His body language and the way he's talking on Sundays after games, it's changing every week while they lose. And you can tell that it's getting to him on that side. But it was the same conversation as it always is. This time it's about the map. We're on the map. We got to get off the map. Wake up tomorrow. We're on the map. We got to keep doing what we're doing, and we'll snap out of it. It's not working. Stop saying you got to keep doing what you're doing. It's not working.
You could say that with those first 5 losses that they had after their start.
8 points or whatever it was.
And you could say, you know what, we're 1 play away, we're this, we're that. But here's the 2 things that jump out to me right now that he's got to be feeling. Number 1, and we touched on it earlier, you get blown out 40 to whatever, and it's not a ball game from about the early second quarter on in both games.
Yeah.
So it's an embarrassment. And then, so you come out, you're not ready to play. Yeah. Obviously.
Opening kickoff, 98 yards.
And you can say all you want about you're professionals. Yeah, and I agree with that. You get paid to get yourself ready to play.
Well, okay.
But it's a reflection of the coach if the entire team comes out like that.
Is there something to say with they've had to shuffle guys around because of all the injuries?
No, you should be more dialed in when you're getting a chance.
Yeah, because he did say that yesterday as well. He goes, we've had to shuffle players around on special teams because of playing time.
But you're getting a chance to put yourself on film and earn a spot. And so it's a combination of not being ready to play, coming out of the gate, and game over fairly quickly.
I mean, I know it was 19-10, and then they got those 6 points, right? 25-10 at halftime.
Yeah.
But after 5-6 minutes in that first, I was even Autumn said it. She goes, "Oh, good job unloading those tickets, so we're not there today."
Yeah.
And that was 5 minutes into the game.
you could just see it.
Feel it. Yeah.
And so that's going to be a reflection of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Setting a franchise record in penalties. That's going to be, whether you say 4 or 5 of them were bogus or whatever.
The penalties are getting worse.
There were still 17 of them.
They're getting worse every game.
And you look at it, it goes ticky-tack, ticky-tack. The McBride doing whatever that is across your nose. And Calais Campbell bumping the center, which is, again, it's ridiculous. penalty.
Yeah, no, it is. It's the stupidest
But
penalty
it
I've ever
is,
seen in my life.
but it's the rule.
I know. That's my point.
You know, and so
I get why they threw the flag.
So-
I totally get it, but it's stupid.
So 17 of those, that's a reflection.
But they had 17 in the
coaching
second
staff.
half. I put it out at halftime. I do the halftime stats all the time of every game. They had 11 penalties for 82 yards at halftime, and nobody talked about that. People started paying attention when they got to 15,
Yeah.
14, 15.
Steve,
I'm watching in the first half going, they have 11 for 87 yards in the first half, folks.
they had 11 penalties versus 10 points in the first half. Whenever you have more penalties than points, that's a reflection of the coaching staff. So all these things, yes, you can say Kyler's out. You can say that Marvin
matter.
Harrison is out. You
Wouldn't
can say
matter.
you've lost this guy. Your right tackle is hurt. I don't think you lose much with Beecham in there.
Well, Beecham got hurt.
But I'm saying when you started him, he was
Yeah.
there at the start of the game.
He was.
I don't think you lose much. And so all those, while it's a player issue, that's when the focus becomes on the coaching staff.
Yes.
Those three main things. How do you start a game?
This team is regressing as the season goes on.
Yes. And everybody has injuries and blah, blah, blah. You can use that. But those three main things, I guarantee you that's when Michael Bidwell's walking in this morning and throwing that down on there going, what in the hell's going on? And you're giving up over 40 points a game the last two games to division teams.
And now Seahawks special teams were a couple of those. I mean, defensive touchdowns were a couple of those. So it wasn't your defense giving those up is what I meant to say from that. But you're right. So this is what is amazing about this. And I'm going to point something out here that just is unbelievable to my eyes yesterday watching this game. If I didn't tell you what the score was all game long and you were watching that Cardinals offense, you would have thought they were in the game. Jacoby Brissett had a really good game yesterday. Record attempts yesterday. 57 attempts is what he ended up with. 47 completions yesterday, folks. In terms of completions, 47 completions. 452 yards in this game. And the Niners were playing hard.
Yes.
He wasn't sacked at all yesterday. He was hurried. He was pressured. He was hit. Not one sack.
47 completions also puts him in rarefied air.
He's a record. He's tied. Well, he's tied at least. 45 plus completions in the game. Jacoby Brissett has the 47. Drew Bledsoe has 45 back in whatever it was, 94, 95. Jared Goff had 45 a couple years ago as well in a game. You were down. You were throwing the ball a lot. I get it.
Well,
right?
I think most of those have been in losses.
Yeah, they're all losses. Yeah, they're all losses, which makes sense because if you're winning the game, you're running the ball more and stuff to that effect. But this offense is moving the football is my point here. This is what's weird about it. They're moving it up and down. Cardinals outgained the 49ers by 207 yards yesterday. I put up the halftime stats. I was floored. If you did not know the score and the way that game was going, you would have been like the Cardinals are in this game. They had 19 possession minutes. Niners had 10. But, when you score on one play there, when you're on the 1 yard line on the opening kickoff, obviously that skews things.
Right.
Cardinals had, I don't remember what it was now, 36, I think it was, actual complete offensive plays in that half. Niners had like 24. The Cardinals can move the ball with Jacoby Brissett and these receivers out there with no running game. They can move it. They can do it. They were doing it yesterday.
Right.
Just they can't punch it in for touchdowns and do all that stuff, which to me also comes to coaching and play calling type of stuff as well. Teams who outgain their opponent by 200-plus yards, Josh Weinfirst gives us this stat, have been 14-0 this season. So now they're 14-1, Dale. Leave it to the Cardinals to ruin that situation on top of it. Michael Wilson. They're like, oh, we don't have any receivers on this team, Dale. Oh, we have Marvin Harrison Jr., and he's struggled at times. You've had a number one caliber receiver, at least in this game. He showed it. You've had a number one caliber receiver on this team for 3 years, and you haven't been able to get him the football in 3 years? Till yesterday? 15 receptions for him, most by a Cardinals receiver since the team moved to Arizona.
Really? Okay.
So 88. 15, the number one receiver on most teams, or at least the number two, catch double-digit passes, if not every game, almost every game. I'm not going to say always the number one because they'll get double teamed and stuff to that. But at least there's another receiver that can do that as well. You have the talent on this offense. You have the talent galore on this offense. You're not putting it together. To me, that's also coaching staff, though, right? Am I wrong? 14 rushing attempts. Now, they were down. The biggest yardage gainer yesterday, Bam Knight, 24 yards. Now, you were down, so you had to pass the ball more, obviously.
Right.
So the fact that they were able to pass the ball that well, that good, with the Niners knowing they were passing the ball, actually is a really good stat in my eyes. But again, the breakdown in the red zones, the breakdown of no touchdowns is absolutely ridiculous. So Wilson and McBride both over 100 yards yesterday. 115 for McBride, 185 for Wilson. Then Dortch. Ever since Dortch has been on this team, all I hear is he doesn't run the right routes. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. When he touches the ball, something good happens most of the time. Even on punt returns. You saw that yesterday as well. Dortch had 66 yards on 6 catches yesterday. Michael Carter caught the ball more than he did running it. Bam Knight caught the ball more than he did running it. 21 yards for him catching. Michael Carter had 22 yards yesterday. Xavier Weaver got involved. Higgins, fantastic catch until you got hit and fumbled it going into the end zone.
You talk about gut punches.
A guy off the bench, Daryl Johnston, I think it was on the broadcast, it was either him or his partner, said, Basilea, that's his first catch since the Cliff Kingsbury era. They announced that on the broadcast. This team can move the football and do stuff. They can't score. To me, that comes down to play calling and lack of it as the game goes on to where you're not able to punch that ball in.
Well, that's when not being able to run the ball comes into play too.
Yes, because it's easier to cover guys when you don't have to worry about the running game. Which baffles me when they did that, when they did the 2-point conversion and handed the ball off to run outside, and he was stuffed so quickly. It was ridiculous. It's just there's people are going to be like, well, it's the players. Let's see what somebody of talent on the sideline and knows what they're doing. Does anybody after watching the Cardinals all season long, forget about these last 2 games, do you think the Cardinals coaching staff can figure it out? That's my question to everybody out there today. My answer, they have no clue what to do. 0 clue what to do. They just keep doing the same things. Their players, if anything, Jacoby Brissett, Wilson, they're bailing the coaches out by making them look semi-competent out there. They still know what they're doing. Every time they cut to Drew Pensing yesterday, he's looking at that little tiny card and everything, and he's just staring at it intensely like it's a menu at a restaurant. He's trying to figure out what he wants, and he's just so tightly wound looking at it, trying to figure something. What are you doing? What are we doing? Dale, it's time for a change.
What are you doing, Steve? What are you doing?
It's time to rebuild.
No.
And not player-wise. They have talent on this team, Dale.
So you right here on November 17th.
Jonathan Gannon, if he refuses, no, here's what we don't know. And this is where you have to be careful. Jonathan Gannon might have gone to Monty and might have gone to Michael Bidwell and said, we need offensive help. I need an offensive coordinator that knows what they're doing. And they went, yeah, we're not paying him to go away, and we're not bringing somebody else in. That could be a conversation.
But see, I would see it being the other way around. I would see Austin Fort or Bidwell going to Jonathan.
So I know. So here's my catch on this. Jonathan Gannon, I think, should go if he sticks with Pensing and refuses to let him go. So here's the way I look at it. If Jonathan Gannon can save his job, and Monty can save his job because it's equally as bad on Monty right now. Monty's getting some relief because Walter Nolan's playing well right now. You know, some of those draft picks are playing well right now. But if Jonathan Gannon's going to the ownership and the ownership's saying no, Jonathan Gannon will keep his job at the end of this year. You know, and then after this year, maybe they make some moves and stuff like that. If it's the way you say it is, where the ownership's going to him and he's defending his coordinators, well, that's where Jonathan Gannon's going to get fired, because you're defending guys that are failing left and right now. And the ownership's going to eventually go, it's not working out.
Well,
you obviously don't have an eye for talent, and so we're going to move on from you. That's what it's going to come down to in my eyes. And then, does Michael Bidwell want to eat another coaching contract?
What's interesting is you look at it, and it's happened kind of famously once here when Bruce Arians was here, and they wanted him to fire the special teams coach. Yep. I forget his name.
Yes.
He had a funny name.
Yeah, he did, and I
can't
on the tip of
remember.
my tongue.
But
yeah.
Bruce said, if you fire him, then fire me.
Yep.
The difference is Bruce Arians had been in an NFC Championship game. Bruce Arians had a winning record. Bruce Arians had had everybody fired up.
And it hurt his relationship with this team by having that attitude.
Yep. And so it happens everywhere.
Yes.
To where an assistant coach.
Jim Harbaugh at the 49ers refused to make changes, and that was part of his, they fired Jim Harbaugh, who was successful there, because the owner didn't like Jim Harbaugh defending his people and not doing what the owner wanted.
But this is becoming so obvious that Jonathan even has to know, that I have to make a change if I'm going to be around here.
Yes. That's the decision. I've never been in the sports world on the coaching side or GM side or owner side in that world, but I've been in the business world, and it can't be much dissimilar to what it is like there. If somebody stakes their job on somebody working out, like I was telling the story the other day, I one time was like, look, this kid's good. He wasn't performing. I said, this kid's going to be good. Just give him a little bit of time. And my boss looked at me and my boss said, your job's on the line also then. And I said, okay, I understand where I stand. And the kid performed and did well. And then my boss was like, hey, you nailed that one. Good job. He's like, I was about to fire both of you. And I was like, oh, whatever. I move on with my life. I don't care. But I was like, yeah, you got to have faith in these guys. And then I've seen other people where I've gone to my bosses and been like, this guy ain't it, man. This guy is terrible. My boss is like, no, he's so good. You just got to give him time. And then it just falls on his face to where the boss has to get rid of him, make the move, and move him someplace else. And then the boss never comes back to you and goes, hey, good call on that, right? Same situation here. Jonathan Gannon is a smart man. You want to keep your job and you want to grow? And I'm going to phrase it in a way that probably sounds worse than it is. You need a sacrificial lamb. Jonathan Gannon needs a sacrificial lamb. Monty needs a sacrificial lamb soon. Or I could see Michael Bidwell saying, what are y'all looking at? You guys came to me and said, Monty, you came to me and said Jonathan Gannon was worth tampering for. Jonathan Gannon, you said Pensing is the guy and the young up-and-coming offensive coordinator, because I watched a lot of games yesterday, and there's a lot of better offensive coordinators out there than Drew Pensing. That's the point we're at. I firmly believe that's the point we're at right now inside those walls. And Jonathan Gannon's a smart guy. Monty's a smart guy. So unless Bidwell's saying, I'm not eating a contract, guys, deal with it till the end of the season, and then we'll reevaluate it. Unless Bidwell's saying that, these guys have to understand their decisions right now are leading them to unemployment and looking someplace else for
well, and here's the other magic thing that's going to be fascinating to watch is, so you talked about that losing streak. They lose 16-15, 23-20, 22-21.
7 of 8 games, by the way.
31-27, 27-23. Then they beat the Cowboys after the bye. Since the bye, they're averaging giving up 42.5 points.
Yep.
Okay, and they're averaging 22 points.
Yeah, division rival.
Yes.
They were barely getting to 22 points when Kyler Murray was running this offense. This is my point.
And so now
it's not the players.
To me, you look at it and you go, okay, how ugly can this get?
It's going to get really ugly.
Because you got the Jaguars coming in this week.
Decimated the Chargers, and the Chargers are a better team than the Cardinals. And they made the Chargers look like they were the Cardinals yesterday. Yes. I didn't watch that game.
Then they have to fly all the way to Tampa. Tampa's going to be angry and playing for a playoff spot.
And it's Tampa, and they're good.
Yep. Then you got the Rams,
who are the best
at
team.
Home.
The Rams, to me, might be the best team in the NFC right now.
You'd say right now that they should be able to beat the Texans, but it's in Houston.
It's in Houston, and Houston sticks its head up every once in a while this year. They don't
Yeah.
look good, but they're going to play hard, yes.
And then you're home against the Falcons. Obviously, stuff to be determined there.
Yeah, I said it yesterday online that I think Raheem Morris might be the only coach that can't out-coach this Cardinals coaching staff. Everybody else is a better coach than the Cardinals coaching staff right now.
And then you finish on the road at Cincinnati.
Yeah, you're losing that because Joe Burrow will be back.
That's going to be right around Christmas time.
In the cold.
And then you're at the Rams.
You only hope on that Rams one is the Rams resting everybody because they have a bye going into the playoffs or something. So they're going to rest everybody. So you might have a chance at that one, Dale. Yeah, it's going to get worse, this team. So here's my argument on the coaching issues here. Because everybody goes, oh, it's Kyler Murray. Some people are on it's Kyler Murray. Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. can't catch. Okay. Look how this offense runs since Jacoby Brissett's been in there. It looks like an offense that moves. It's not scoring like it should, but it's moving, right? Up and down the field, and you see the difference between the two quarterbacks. But what's the constant? 20 points, and that's it.
Yep.
20 points, and that's it. 20 points, and that's it. You can't tell. No, and you have different players in there now. It's not the same players. You've rotated players. You're still scoring 20 points with backup players, folks. With those stars out, you're scoring 20 with the stars. You're scoring 20 with the backups in there. It's the design of the offense, isn't it? Doesn't it have to be the offense? The design of the offense? It can't be anything else. You have different players in there, and they're doing the exact same thing. I don't get it. It's got to be the design of the offense. We can see it. They can see it. They're choosing not to do anything about it. Cardinals fans are choosing to sell their tickets, not renew next year. They're all threatening that now. It's like when an election happened, everybody went, oh, I'm moving to Canada if this guy wins. Most of them will be back next year. Cardinals, it's the design of your offense. It sucks. It's designed to only score 20 points a game.
Well, it's funny, in the preseason, they only scored 20 points a game, too.
It's a 20-point per game offense is all it is. They can go up and down the field all over the place. They can throw for 425 yards, but they're only going to score 20-something points.
Well, Steve, you don't have to deal with it for 7 more games.
It could be worse. It could be Cleveland Browns fans. The worst thing that happened yesterday to Shedeur Sanders fans is that he actually went in and played. Because you now they've switched to, well, he had no first team reps. He had no first. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter at all. He was bad yesterday. And not having first team reps, I get it. Your timing's off with people, but throwing some of those balls. What was he, 4 for 16, I think, yesterday?
4 for 16, 47 yards and an interception.
Brutal as well. But yeah, that's the other thing. Jacoby Brissett sacked 0 times on those 57 attempts. That stat floors me. 10th most attempts. It's tied for the 10th most attempts since the merger for a player who wasn't sacked once, by the way, folks.
So who would you rather hear? Jonathan Gannon give his post-game press conference, or Kevin Stefanski saying, hey, we trust all our guys?
That Kevin Stefanski's just like, why? I'm in a hell here. They would just won't. Why don't you guys just fire me?
Would you please just buy me out?
Seriously. I'll take less than leave, for the love of God. Let's get this done. But here's the other side of it. Like I said, my correlation here on how bad the Cardinals coaching staff is what the Niners did. I don't think Shanahan's an excellent coach. I think he's got a lot of flaws on his deal. He's better than average, but he's not. I don't hold him as high as a lot of people do out there.
Ooh.
I know. I need to rethink this.
Ooh.
Because him and the Cardinals, 49ers and the Cardinals are on this even parallel in a lot of things. Injuries, play calling, their team struggles and everything. And they just keep winning, and the Cardinals don't. That's where it comes down to. Your hiring of your coaches is where you go wrong. And the Cardinals always until Bruce Arians came on board. Remember, he was the last one hired. They didn't want him. They wanted everybody but him. And then they're like, hey, Bruce, nobody else wants to come here. Do you want to come here, buddy?
Longtime assistant, took over for that Indianapolis coach who had got cancer.
Yeah. It starts and ends with who you're hiring as a coach.
But see, here's the thing. Going into the season, Steve,
I was high on
I
Gannon.
think to a person, everybody thought they were on the right track. We loved the fact that they were getting guys who seemingly loved to play the game.
They were 100%. Their 3-year rebuild was on track.
Yes. So
No
what
questions.
has happened in the first half of the season?
They went out and got free agents. They got rid of those Hart guys at the front of the defensive line, the Dennis Gardacks and those guys who outperformed last year. Sweat's like top 5 in sacks this year. Sweat's playing well on defense.
Yep.
Do you know it? Nolan's a beast out there, folks. If you're not watching him play and he doesn't catch your eye, you're not watching. But they got rid of the Hart guys on this team. They got complacent. And they've gone backwards.
They have definitely gone backwards.
That tells you the personnel change is a big effect, and then also just the focus and everything. I'm willing to bet you, Dale, and I don't know because I've never been in a locker room, but maybe you felt this. I'm willing to bet you the Cardinals did kind of what ASU did this year. Oh, we won how many games last year? These guys know what they're doing. We're not going to focus on the little things. We're going to focus on other things. And they took their eyes off the ball of things like where your head goes on a block, right, on the offensive line, because Adams wasn't there, new guys in there. They took their focus off the holding penalties and the procedure stuff. Oh, you guys know how to line up. You did a great job last year at it, so we're not going to focus on it here in this training camp or whatever. It's stuff you don't notice and you don't see and you don't pay attention to until it rears its ugly. I'm willing to bet you there was a lack of focus on that stuff in training camp and in the whole offseason on the Cardinals this year. I'll put money on it. It's the only way it can regress in my eyes. They stopped focusing on that and they focused on other stuff, and it's coming up and biting them in the face. That's why you can't fix it in the regular season, because you didn't focus on it all off season. You can't fix it in the
well, and
regular
you can't fix it when you're practicing in no pads and helmets and
it's half
and,
a score
and,
of a
and
speed.
and
You
things
can't even
like
have
that.
a practice because you have so many injuries. On
Well,
top
you know,
of it.
we haven't pointed out many positives, obviously, and why would we do that?
Well, I
But-
mean, there is positives on the offense. On this offense, with Jacoby Brissett's playing well. Wilson shows that he can, if you throw the ball to him, he can go get it. Trey McBride is still a stud on offense, despite the negative side we talked about. From there, I mean, those are very big positives. Dortch, to me, is a positive. Just get him the football, for the love of God. So there are some positives there. Josh Sweat is a positive on this defense.
Well, and I didn't even realize this till I pulled up the stats. Darius Robinson had 5 tackles yesterday.
He does not pop on the screen. You have to search for him.
Right.
But Walter Nolan, man, he stands out there.
Well, 2 tackles for
playing.
losses for Walter
But there was a
Nolan.
couple where Sweat got the sack, but Nolan was right there. He was in the shot, kind of forcing Purdy to move around, and then Sweat was able to get him, that type of stuff. So there's positives on this team. This team, I'll put it this way: this team should not be this bad.
No.
This team is underperforming in epic levels.
Yes.
And that's what's sounding the alarms right now, that there's a coaching issue here, is this team is not this bad. This team should be competing more. Even with the injuries, this team, they might not win them all, but they should be competitive, and they are not.
Well, and again, just to contrast and compare before we go to break or whatever, the fact that, remember when the Sun Devils were struggling a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
What did Kenny Dillingham do?
Yeah.
Made some phone calls.
Makes phone calls.
And he said, you know what?
Swallowed his pride.
Our slow starts, they're on me. We changed things up to try and get things going earlier in the game.
Well, he recognized it, right?
Yes.
He flat out said, we left it to the seniors to handle some of this stuff, and that was a mistake.
Yeah.
We need to be more physical. We need to be this way. We need to be this way. And they changed it, and this team has changed since they've done that.
Yes, they have.
What has changed with the Cardinals? They're regressing, and nothing is changing with them. Jonathan Gannon said it yesterday. We got to get off the mat and wake up tomorrow and come back and just work harder. Just work harder.
Yeah, that's not a that's
Working
not
harder is not
correction.
solving
No.
it. You have to
Work
change
smarter.
it. Yes. You have to find the issue, and it's week 12. You got to quit saying, "Oh, we got to reevaluate this and look into this and figure out why we're not doing stuff properly."
Did you see that throw from Purdy to Kittle? The first touchdown, the second touchdown
over the shoulder one.
when they broke out into a formation that I don't think the Cardinals had seen before,
Yes.
and that pass to him
Yeah.
was a thing of beauty.
I'll put it this way. After being off for 7 weeks, Purdy looks like an MVP candidate yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if it continues. That's the thing. Jacoby Brissett puts balls into tight windows. It's actually impressive to watch, especially live.
Oh.
His receivers don't always come up with it. But Brock Purdy yesterday was throwing balls that when he was letting him go, I was going, oh, dear God, that Cardinals are going to get that one or knock it down or something. And then the receiver catches it and picks up another fight. Because even the defenders are like, how'd you catch that? I'm just tired of watching the other team just do stuff different. It's just start doing what the other. If that's what you're going to change today, watch the film for the Jacksonville Jaguars for this week, and then be like, you know what, we need to do kind of what they do on offense.
Yeah. How about we do that?
Yeah. What did they do there? Oh, you know, we need to do that in that situation. Just start copying the other team's game film that you're watching for the week. Just because what you're doing isn't working. When we come back down, we'll get into, of course, the college football weekend, ASU, U of A as well. Let's come on back, folks.
Coming
Let's
down,
get to the good
Territorial
stuff.
Cup, baby.
Get to the good stuff. And we're back here, main events, having some fun. I didn't introduce ourselves there in the second hour. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, of course, 17-year NFL lineman at Dallas Cowboys. If I can say it properly, I don't know why I stumbled over that today as well. Brutal game here. Of course, you guys can join us, 623-252-6670. Text us as well there. Just like texting your buddies on your phone. We don't respond there. We respond on air. We respect the privacy of your phone. But you can tag us at TME Sports Show as well on X. Robert says the 49ers look like an SEC team that has a game with the Citadel in the middle of their conference schedule. About sums it up there, Robert. Scottsdale Christian Academy, 114-7 over Santan. Okay, Autumn swears the guy didn't say it in front of me. She swears he didn't say it in front of me. But boy, did he make eye contact with me and then waited till he got to me before he said it. Before the game, we got there. Teams were coming out of the locker room. And, I mean, Dale, you've been there. You got to turn that corner, you know, and then, you go to the bathroom first because it's a mile hike during the game to go. And I'm like, I'm not walking this again. So we're waiting for them to go by. And one of the coaches, I don't know which one, walks out, makes eye contact with me. And I have my shirt on and my hat on. And he walks by. So I do look like a coach, kind of. But he walks by me, makes eye contact with me, and he just loudly says, "Remember last time we were here, we won." And I go, "Yeah, last two playoff times, though, you lost." And I was like, "Oh, you're being all smart." Okay. I'm like, why did he wait till he got to me to say that? And I was just kind of like, whatever, dude, right? And then they go out there and 14-7, fantastic ball game. This was a defensive battle. Like, I enjoyed this game so much.
Right.
Like, it was just like, it was back and forth. Like, I was just like, I have no idea who's winning this game, but whoever wins it, it's going to be spectacular. How it goes down, kind of a deal. It was just that good of an all-around game there, up there at the turf at Tatum. And the announcer said it at least once. I heard it once. And
good crowd.
Great crowd, both sides. Santan fans showed up last year in the semifinals. Their side was kind of sparse, or in the neutral game site there at Westwood. They showed up there as well. And the Santan's all sophomores, so they're gonna make noise here for a couple more years.
Right.
They're big, they're fast. It was a. I'm like, ooh, Santan next couple years. Keep your eye on them.
Right.
It was amazing to watch. I mean, give Santan all the credit in the world. This could have gone either way. It came down to a fourth down play where Scottsdale Christian was able to stop them from converting that to a first down so they could officially win it there as well. But 14-7, now they got Wilcox coming up this week. And that's going to be at ALA North Mesa. So both 2A teams play at the same time. One's going to be at McClintock. That's the St. John's because they won. ALA Lutheran Academy lost over the weekend, and so did the number 1 seed.
Veritas.
Veritas lost to Tankery Prep or whatever it's called.
Tank Verde.
Is that what it is? Tanker Verde? Yeah, that's right. So they match up there, but they're playing at McClintock. In the years past, one was at 2, one was at 6.
Yeah.
They're both playing at 6, 2 different locations. I find that interesting.
That is
no,
interesting.
No scouting able to go on unless you send somebody to the other school. So Saturday night, 6 p.m., I only have to go to a 10, 15 minutes down the road from my house, Dale, for that game.
What's closer, Westwood or ALA?
ALA North Mesa by far. That's
Really?
just right up. That's about 4 miles north of Red Mountain, roughly 4 or 5. And you know where Red Mountain's at?
Yeah,
Did you
and
get
it's
there?
west,
North, just north.
north. Okay.
It's on Thomas, but it's right off that 202 up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, literally just top on that 202, boom, go up there, bloop, take a right, and you're there. It's a good place to be. So Saturday night there, this was a 2-hour game on top of both teams were just running the ball. They obviously had to start throwing it because they were down 14-7. This was just a heavyweight battle of 2 teams. Like if that was the final, that would have been a fantastic championship game for the 2A level. You got to give your hands a lot of credit. But after the game, a certain person looks at me and goes, "They talk a lot of trash." And I was like, "Yeah, I found that out before the game." And I was just standing there minding my own business. It's just you got to tip your cap to Santan on the way they play. That's the only way I can describe it.
Right.
I'm not going to say SCA was lucky to win. It was just the winner of that game won a hard-fought game. It was one of those games where you're kind of like, whoever wins it, I'm fine with it. Kind of a situation because it was just a hard-fought, 2 equal teams battling it out. It was a lot of fun. Now you got Wilcox this week. I have know nothing about Wilcox. An outside team. I know that they're good. A
rural team. I hear they run the football.
They love to run the football.
Yeah.
And look, when running the football, I'll say this: SCA struggled with running teams in the regular season, especially later in the regular season. They figured that out because they've been shutting these running games down, and these are some prolific running games.
Yep. Well, again, we've talked about it with Mike. We've talked about it with you and I. The fact that you start going to these single wings and things like that. You can't get your scout team to run it like they run it.
And this was just line it up and just hand it off and let them run with it. On Saturday night. I just walked away from that at the end of that. Like I was looking at Paul Clark, defensive coordinator, and Ty, the offense coordinator, and I was just like, well, that was fun to watch, guys. And it wasn't just them. I would have said the same thing to Santan. I was afraid to go over and talk to them because a little chippy at times. They like to yap a little bit. And I didn't want to deal with that side of it. But even some of the parents, man, I think, hey guys, settle down. Settle down. I drove by Santan yesterday, and I was like, "Ooh, should we wave at them?" Or maybe it was Saturday. The Roadrunners, they have a bright future. They're not falling down if their sophomores stay there.
Right.
Coming up, so that's where we stand now. Made it to the Final Four again, SEA. This year coming on. I will say this: you're going to have to get through Santan next year again if you're going to have any success in the 2A level for them, especially because a lot of their team are sophomores. I wonder if they recruit people or not. I gotta not recruit, but they talk to people to come to that school. I wonder if they do that because it's just knowing that they have that and I forget his name now, but the ASU kid, the quarterback. They had a couple other kids there last year that were D1 type kids.
Yeah.
They had tall receivers. This Santan looked completely different. They were walking out of the locker room, and I was just standing there, and literally, I stood up taller, because I was like, these guys are big, tall, big, and then they were fast. That's a lot of talent to go to Santan. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything's devious. I'm just saying it was an interesting look. You see some kids like that. This is a whole team of them. Lock it out.
Yeah, again, obviously a really good game. I'm shocked that Veritas Prep is out.
They were never in that game. Did they not show up? Did they forget the game started? Did their star quarterback get in trouble? What happened?
Yeah, I have no idea. I do know, we played them last year in the second round of the playoffs, and I know their head coach, and last year's their first playoff win ever.
Yeah. No, they were the number 1 seed this year. They were undefeated.
But last year, only one playoff win, then they played us. That's when we're missing all those guys. And he just said, our practice this week were, hey, we set a goal to win a playoff game. We achieved that. And
we did what we wanted to do. Let's go home, boys.
Yeah, we didn't raise our expectations.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking for. I don't know anything about St. John's. I know they're really good. They were the other team there with Arizona Lutheran as well. They got the revenge there over the weekend. And then, Benson and Wilcox played on the other side. So we're getting into those, northern Arizona type teams that we're playing now. That'll be fun to kind of watch how that goes. 6 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. ALA North Mesa is where they play. Of course, the other game over there at McClintock. ASU kicks off at 6 p.m. against Colorado. That's in Colorado. So that'll probably be one of those games, Dale. We got our phones on and we're paying attention to both of them as we're sitting there watching.
Happy that you're in Arizona and not in Boulder.
Not in the cold as the snow falling down from that side. Queen Creek lost to South Point on Friday night, so their season is officially over now as well. And now we've got the teams that lost in that first round of the Open. Moving down to the 6A, they got those matchups already. We'll talk more about that as the week goes on here coming up. But so those are getting ready to kick off. Be fun to go. Fun to watch. Queen Creek Live.
Just an early weather forecast for Boulder.
Sleety. 6 p.m. It's going to be cold 30s.
Well, right now it's Thursday and Friday. Highs in the mid 40s. 70% chance of snow.
Highs in the 40s, folks.
70% chance of snow Friday, 55% Thursday.
Perfect.
Saturday, Sunday, perfect sunshine.
Yeah, but cold. That means if the high's 40, that means at 6 p.m. and the sun's down over those mountains and everything, if there's a wind off that snowy mountain.
I'm just wondering if I'm going to be rooting for a little bit of snow moving in a little later. Get it wrong like our weather people.
It'll probably be 4 inches of snow down there on Saturday. To be a weather person, right, is what we got to go. Let's throw up the show picks here if we can, Kobe, as well.
This is always a surprise to me.
Is it?
Because
you don't know who you pick. So, yeah, Dale's always like, oh, ooh. Both lost 2 games here over the weekend. You, of course, doubted your Sun Devils there. Went with West Virginia.
And you?
I know. Well, just early kickoff. I mean, even Arizona was surprised they won that game. Did you see the way Brennan was hugging people on that sideline?
The big win.
Yeah, well, it was. 25th ranked Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Woo-wee. This is going to be the first time that the Territorial Cup will have both teams 7+ wins. It says like the early 2000s.
That's great. Well, that's great for the game. the Oklahoma-Alabama game, boy, oh boy, Oklahoma's defense shocked me.
Here's what I'll say about Oklahoma. Okay, it's starting to start talking that Oklahoma's for real to an extent. Their offense is terrible, though. Their offense is going to be their downfall. But that defense, woo-wee. Woo-wee.
Brent Venables, always a defensive coach.
Yeah, so, I mean, their offense, though, makes me kind of – they're going to falter again, whether it be in the playoffs or be at the end of this season. But Oklahoma is a for-real team you need to pay attention to. Texas, on the other hand, frauds. They just beat up on bad teams.
Yeah.
Frauds.
Gotta tell you, I did. There's nothing.
I told you that was what I was looking for.
Quite as satisfying as seeing the burnt orange go down in a flame.
Those were my two questions. Can Oklahoma beat Alabama? Is Oklahoma for real? Like I said, to an extent, I think they are. But Texas was my other big question over the weekend was, are they for real? And nope. Georgia obviously gets helped out with that Alabama loss there as well. So in terms of ASU making the Big 12 championship game, technically they're still alive. Arizona did its part. They beat it Cincinnati. That's one thing that you needed to happen. But BYU has to lose 2 of their next games that they play. Let's just forget about this weekend because they play somebody decent. They could possibly lose that one. But then their last game of the season is against UCF. And Dale, I think you and me alone could beat UCF.
Wow.
UCF. They are god-awful terrible. So they're not – they're technically still alive, but ASU's not going to make it back to the Big 12 game. They can have 9 regular season wins. If they win their bowl game, they can have 10 wins on this season. I get what Bruce Cooper, who joins us tomorrow, and you keep saying. That's a disappointment with the expectations. I understand that. But what we don't get here is consecutive win seasons of 8, 9, even 8 wins. 8, 9, 10 wins. And they have the potential to keep that rolling and going forward. So in terms of the longevity of the program and where they stand, it's a winning season. The expectations are telling you it's not a winning season on that side of it. I know I keep harping that, but I don't think people are listening to me. Dale?
I will tell you this: if they win their last 2 games and then the bowl game, they finish with 10 wins, you got to be happy with that year.
I'm not, I mean, you're going to be disappointed because the expectation wasn't that, but for Arizona State standards, that's a good season.
With everything that has happened this year.
And then you add the injuries. Yeah. If I would have told you Sam Levitt was going to miss the whole second half of the season, you'd be like, oh, we're done for.
Right.
We're winning 4 games.
And
they're not.
Yes. So, hey, you tip your cap. I'm just saying, I've always said this, the fact that with ASU, if I'm involved in a program, whether that's college, high school, NFL, I want there to be high expectations.
Well, 100%.
I don't want there to be, gosh, if we can just qualify for a bowl and get to 6 wins and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want those to be the expectations.
Yeah.
And so I want all ASU fans to raise their expectations, Steve.
My expectations are raised. They should have repeated as Big 12 champions. I didn't think that was possible with their schedule. I thought they would drop a couple. And by the way, it's not because of what ASU does. I thought they'd have 2 non-conference losses. I thought they'd have 3 losses on the year. Conference losses. I thought they would lose 3 games this year. Right? I thought that was going to be. But it wasn't because of what ASU was doing. It was because of who they weren't playing. BYU, for instance, you dodge a couple of these big-time schools, right, coming into it. But, I mean, that whole deal, I know we see it with hindsight now, but remember their schedule was Baylor, TCU, right? I forget who after that. But then they had Texas Tech. They had to go to Iowa State. There was like a 6-game stretch in this season where you were like, this is a gauntlet from heck. And if they make through this unscathed, they deserve to go to the championship game.
So
I thought they were going to drop a couple of them.
So they went Baylor, TCU, Utah.
Utah, that's right.
And that was a loss up
We all
there.
forgot about the Utah game.
Yeah. Texas Tech.
Yep.
Houston, Iowa State.
And Houston ended up sticking their head up to make that stretch even bigger than what it was when we were looking at the schedule at the beginning of the season. That's a murderer's throw there that they had to go through. And it's not that you had to play those teams. it's like you were playing those teams week after week after week after week. It wasn't like, like U of A is playing like a good team and then they get a bad team. And then they got a good team and then a bad team. It's also when you play them that you got to look at. So I get it. The expectation was they should have repeated and gone on to it with the talent they were bringing back. It was an uphill battle in my eyes. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm disappointed, but I'm disappointed in the way they play. Even in this game with West Virginia, they let them back into the game late. They had a win late again. It's frustrating when that happens. Here's Dillingham after the game on these late wins. Sorry, Kobe. I threw it on Kobe with no warning.
Guys in our locker room. Some people find ways to win. Some people find ways to lose. Whether that's some people, are quiet and they're successful versus guys that are loud and successful. Some people are alphas. Some people aren't. There's so many ways to be successful in football and in life. Some people like controversy. Some people hate it. Do you get it done or not? And our guys get it done. And I think that's what I told him. It's a great life lesson that nobody cares about the pain. Show me the baby, right? That's nobody says, like, how was it? They say, show me the baby, right? And other than me, when my wife gets pregnant, I'm going to be very concerned about the pain and all of that. Make that perfectly clear. But everybody else is going to say, show me the baby. And unfortunately, that's life. And right now, like, we're getting it done. And it's so cool to watch these guys, like, through all the adversity this year, like 7-3 still in this thing. Like, I don't know what happened in games earlier today that affect us, but unbelievable.
I mean, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it as well. This is a special season, and if you're viewing it,
like I told the guys in our
like
locker
Dale's
room,
viewing it.
some people.
Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate that. But if you view like Dale views, and I know a lot of people do because I've talked to some people that this year, no matter what they do, is a disappointment because of the way they played and how they're not back in the championship game. What this team has overcome to get to this point, it's a special season for this team, especially if they make it to 9 and then that 10th win at the bowl game. It's a special season, folks, with what they've overcome.
The only thing that I have an issue with, I say successful. Okay, special is reserved for like last year. That was special.
Yes, that was special.
Successful, very successful. If you get to 10 wins,
yeah,
no doubt about it.
For an ASU program, a year after last year,
I just want everybody's expectation level.
I don't disagree.
To rise a little bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
You
I know what you guys are saying on that, and that's why it's kind of like both things can be true type of a situation.
Yes, if they
but
go ahead.
But my argument is don't let the fact they aren't making the college football playoffs convince you that this team was bad and this team has failed.
I am 100% with you.
Because I'm seeing a lot of that, Dale. I even had a conversation on Saturday with somebody that was like, this team has just been disappointing all year. It's a failure.
No.
And I'm looking at them like, what are you talking about? They're 7-3. They're 5-2 in the conference.
Coming to right now.
After last year, what do you mean?
Now, again, kind of like the Cardinals, let's see how they finish these last two games. Yeah. If they stub their toe.
You lose to Arizona. Well, you lose to Colorado. We're all flipping out.
Yes.
But you lose to Arizona, we're all going to flip out. And we're going to say that is going to make it a disaster season. That'll change my opinion on the season if you lose to Arizona.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Arizona – Arizona's good. I told you guys, Arizona's good. They'll beat the worst teams in the conference. They will play you hard if you're better than them. But you should still be able to beat them, especially at home. If this was in Tucson coming up, I'd be a little bit more worried as well. So you're kind of rooting for Cincinnati to beat BYU this weekend because that would be a 5-way tie, I believe. It's 7-2, assuming everybody else wins coming into this weekend that you're dealing with there. Because BYU's not losing to UCF next weekend, which is what you would need to happen. Because Texas Tech is going to the championship game no matter what from that side. But look, it just this ASU team battles it out. Jeff Sims throws some beautiful balls, and then it's what hampered him at Nebraska. And then he throws some balls where you're like, where are you throwing it to? But you know what won this game for ASU, I believe, mainly? The lack of turnovers. Jeff Sims had 0 turnovers and kept West Virginia there. I mean, this defense of ASU drives you batty. They go down and they score and take the lead. Everybody's feeling excited. Next play, 90-yard touchdown run where the guy catches the ball wide open, outruns everybody down the side. This defensive coverage and the play calls that happen with this ASU team make you want to pull your hair out, which I don't have here, folks, to do. It's infuriating, Dale, watching this defense on their coverages sometimes. That's play calling, by the way. The defenders weren't like, I'm just going to stand over here and not guard that guy now. It's the play call that goes out there. We've talked about that with the cover zero before and all of that stuff as well. So I'm excited to see what this Arizona State team does the next couple weekends.
I'm cheering for him
as well. So we addressed it at the beginning of the show. Big loss by your Suns last night on a game they should have won. For them, but that's what happens on the learning curve. When are you going to get tired as we wrap up the show? When are you going to get tired of Dylan Brooks' obnoxious technicals when they shouldn't happen? Because that's what he does. And when are people going to get tired? Because right now it's fun and cute.
And that's the thing. It's one of those deals to. I don't mind him getting a technical in the first or second quarter or get some whatever.
It was right in the middle of that Hawks run.
Yes,
and kind of fueled it some more.
Yes, and he's got to be smarter than that. And if that continues to happen, I'll become very frustrated.
Yeah, I wrote that down last night. Like I got to ask because that's what he does. This is what he does. You love it all. It's all cute at the beginning. You eventually get tired of it.
Right.
Happening. So the question is, when's that going to happen?
If it continues to happen in pivotal parts of the game, yes, that will really.
I do not fault him for last night's technical. He was right. You do not stop a play in the middle of it. I also think it was kind of a jerkish move because he hit that ground hard. It was kind of a jerkish move also to inbound that ball and try to push it up the courts. I was like, generally you don't do that either. But they usually call that ball dead immediately. The fact that they left it go on. I actually don't have a problem with them getting a technical in that moment because I don't know what those refs were doing. You don't stop the ball in the middle of a play like that as well.
But he also had 34 points.
No, that's what I mean.
No.
It's just
I think
he
it's going to
cost you 2 games yet, but there is going to come a time where he's going to do something that's going to cost you the game. It's what he does. Is that when you turn? Because the technical last night, the technical when he was on the bench, technically didn't lose you the game.
What I feel is going to happen is I'm going to feel a lot about him like Golden State when they were winning championships felt about Draymond Green.
So as long as the Suns are winning and playing well, you're going to put up with it?
You'll put up with it. It'll bother you. It'll irk you when you do certain things. But boy, if he keeps playing as hard as he does and this team follows that, and I know they lost, gave up 124 points, but they're playing hard and having fun and moving the ball.
It was, and I wasn't upset about the loss last night. I just kind of went, okay.
If they weren't up by 22 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree, but it's just kind of I expect to see that from the Suns this year. I like how they put Malawach and Fleming down there to the Valley Suns for their home opener on Friday night. Get them some playing time and stuff like that. I think this team, Dwayne Rankin again put out on Twitter one of the timeouts, man, where Jordan Ott was talking to Oso directly. Most of the coaches the Suns have ignored players, when they're mad at them or something to that effect. You saw Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks talking to each other during timeouts. This team is something special, and they're going to have games like that where they're going to blow them at the end, Dale. Yeah. They're just going to. And it's going to say Booker missed a couple pivotal shots that probably could have righted the ship for the Suns, missed them and kept the Hawks going. I don't think I'm upset about it because I'm expecting that type of stuff to happen with this team, especially earlier in the year. But at the same time, that's a team you need to beat.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert chimes in as well. Brett McMurphy is putting out on Twitter, Arizona Stadium, obviously down there in Tucson, is now being renamed Casino del Sol Stadium. It's a 20-year, $60 million naming rights deal.
Go ahead, Wildcats.
I complain about Mountain America Stadium. I will complain even more about Casino del Sol Stadium.
60 million big one, Stevie.
Here's the problem, and Robert says this. Given college kids' gambling issues lately, this seems so U of A. Okay, call me an old guy if you want, but I agree with Robert on this a little bit. What are you doing naming your college stadium after a casino? Bad look.
Not a bad look.
Bad look.
$60 million looks good in the coffers, Stevie.
Bad look. And then somebody's going to get busted, and they're going to be like, I just went to Casino del Sol. Hey, you're suspended because you're gambling on our team, but I just went to Casino del Sol. The name of the deal. You can't continue to complain that gambling's getting into sports and then sign deals like this. That's all I'm going to say. Arizona State plays again tonight. They lost to Gonzaga the other night. I'll say this. One, I love Jop as a player. I think he's fantastic. But ASU being in that Gonzaga game surprised me. I like that a lot. They play again tonight against Georgia State or something like that for ASU tonight as well. In Arizona, they got some big matchups coming up. They have one hard game, a couple easy games, then a hard game. Keep your eyes on Arizona Wildcats this year on basketball side, and we'll do that here at the main event. Dale, let's get out of here. McCollum on Business coming up at 11. We'll be back tomorrow, and Bruce Cooper joins us. We'll see how mad he is about the Cardinals, Dale. He's been angry lately. See if it changes at all. Tomorrow. See you tomorrow, everybody.